Country guitar, what is it? It's a broad term. Let's start with an example so we have something to talk about. All right, we can keep going just a little bit. And then to finish it off. All right, now we have something to talk about. So what is it? What makes it different? Well, it is a little different. You know, it's a broad term, but still, if you ask somebody, what kind of guitar do you like to play? And they say, I like a little everything, but I really like rock guitar. Well, that means something else. You know, if they say, I really like everything, but I love playing jazz guitar, that means something else. So what makes this country guitar? That's what we're going to talk about here. We're going to talk about the essentials of the techniques, the style of country guitar, okay? As a baseline, the language of music is the same across genres. So when we look at all right, well, what is that? It's just the pentatonic scale, and that's the same if you're doing what I just played or more like. Well, one main difference that I just played that's easy to hear is the tone. And you can find all sorts of different kind of tones across the country genre, but when you hear people talking about that style that I was just playing, typically it's going to be a more trebly sound. It's going to be on the bridge pickup here, and what you see a lot of times is a standard Telecaster setup. So instead of a humbucker back here, like a lot of guitars have, the standard Telecaster setup is just one single coil pickup. And that gives us that nice trebly sound. So that's one, but there's some other things, right? What are we doing with the right hand? We're going to talk about chicken picking and hybrid picking. That's one kind of distinct piece of this. The difference in the bends is a piece of it. Double stops are a piece of it, and open strings. And there's some other things we'll touch on at the very end too. But I'm going to go through each of those because those are kind of the key elements of playing this style guitar. Let's start with the right hand. Hybrid picking. Now could you do that with just your pick? Yeah, but does it sound different? Yeah, it sounds different, right? Hybrid picking is anytime we're using the pick in our fingers. Now, a lot of times, some of the country guys that really shred on this thing, they're using a thumb pick, okay? Which I use for the steel, but I don't use on the guitar. All right, and then you're using your thumb and these fingers mainly. But for me, how I always learned this was using just a regular pick, and then using my middle and my ring finger on my right hand to pick and cluck. So hybrid picking is not unique to country. Right? But when we add a few things and we call it chicken picking, that's really a country style. And when we're chicken picking, it's a combination of the muting and clucking. The clucking is when we're popping with our fingers instead of using our pick. Right? Right? It's that popping, and a lot of times we're doing the hammer on like that, or we're sliding down. So that's one element to making the guitar sound this way, is with the right hand. Hybrid picking, chicken picking. Okay, another element is the difference in the bends. You heard when I was doing the blues. The bends in the vibrato are different. When we're doing the more country style, you'll notice I'm going to bend this one right here, and then I'm holding it. No vibrato. You got to hold that. Now, why do country players do that? Well, it goes back to just the genre of country music, and especially traditional country music. If we look at the steel here a minute, it goes back to the way the steel sounds. It's that mechanical bend. There's a pedal, right? I'm not doing anything with my left hand here. That's being done on the pedal. So the mechanics and the style of bending is different. We're mimicking that pedal motion, that mechanical motion. You need this note to meet that. And then we want to hold it, and we want to hit that the first try. I don't always do it. Sometimes you overbend or underbend. Okay, so that's another kind of stylistic piece of country guitar is the bending. Now, another thing that we use a lot is double stops, and again, unique to country? Not at all. Every genre of guitar playing uses double stops. Right? But it is a little different in country because we're using it combining all these other different techniques. We're using hybrid picking here and double stops. So double stops anytime that we play two notes at the same time with our fretting hand. And all we're doing there when we're using double stops is harmonizing an interval. So, you know, we're harmonizing this root note with the major third, and then this is the G note. We're harmonizing that with a perfect fourth, all within the scale. So that's what we're using these double stops for, and it adds a lot of color to what we're playing. All right, so that's another element. You'll also see double stops using sixths a lot of times with country guitar. All right, and thirds, you know, that's what we were just talking about. So double stops combined with the right hand technique we talked about and the bending technique we talked about is a key element to country guitar to put in the toolbox, okay, to keep building. And then another thing, we just saw a little one in the riff I played, open string riffs, but you know, it's really more like, you know, that we just covered on the side, or, right, things like that. And what we're doing with open string riffs, like let's take, all that is okay, but we're making it to where we're replacing some of the fretted notes with open strings. And when you can get some speed on that, it sounds really cool. That's from Nervous Breakdown by Brad Paisley, and this other one was from The Fireman. That's another style that you'll hear a lot with this kind of country guitar picking. And all of this is covered extensively on the website and also just on YouTube. I have a lot of free tutorials out there with all of this. But if you're coming from a rock background or a jazz background or a fingerstyle background and you've learned any amount of scales or theory, all of that translates over into country guitar and you're way ahead of the game. All you need to do is start working on a couple of these stylistic techniques. There's other ones that we won't go into a ton, like kind of banjo picking. That's a whole nother piece of country guitar that stands out as its own kind of unique technique, and there are many others. But hopefully this tutorial has helped you wrap your head around the differences between talking about country guitar as to some of the other genres of guitar playing, and maybe even you got your fingers on some of this stuff. I hope you did. Hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.